Well, hello again everybody, it's Dan, your friendly fishmonger from dansfish.com, and today is day 3 of quarantine and medicating new imports. If you missed the first 2 videos, then check them out, day 1 and 2, and you'll get caught up for day 3. So for those that have been watching, let me show you where we're at and what we're going to do today. So we're going to add some more antibiotics. Do that every 48 hours. So we added the first round on Monday. We skipped Tuesday. It's Wednesday, so we're going to add some more of that. That's kanamycin and nitrofurazone. Video 1 tells you all about that. These are the quarantine tanks, and let's take a look at how everybody's doing. These are the Chromaphiosimine. Oh, I'm sorry, these are not. These are the Fundulopanchax filamentosum. And everyone's doing fine, haven't lost anybody. Now you are looking at quarantine tanks. So these are old, scratched up, bare tanks. So, you know, they're gonna be glary and all that. These are not show tanks. These are just quarantine tanks. Majorly scratched up old things. I should mention, I did not mention in the other 2 videos, all the setup is a bare tank with an air stone. That's it. There's no filtration in here or anything because the antibiotics that I use will kill the beneficial bacteria. So there's no point in using a filter. Instead, we just change the water frequently. So it's morning time. Last night we put in some external parasite medicine to work overnight. Then we've changed 50% of the water. Now it's morning time, and we're gonna add the antibiotics. You don't ever want to add a new dose of antibiotics or parasite medicines or anything like that, at least not the ones I'm using, without doing like a 50% water change first. So that's been done. These are the Aphyosemium australe. These are the chocolate form, and man, they're great. Haven't lost any of these either. Such a beautiful, well, let's see if we can find one. Such a beautiful fish. These are the first killifish for a lot of hobbyists over the years. These are responsible for addicting a lot of killi nuts to the killifish hobby. They're doing great. Let's go up top. These are the Geophagus veni. Did lose one on day 2. It came in with almost no tail. Severe ammonia burn. I've talked with my supplier and said, hey, you know, these guys have ammonia burn, and you got to change the water before you ship me cichlids, because there was no need for that. All we needed was a water change, and they would have come in much better shape. See what I'm talking about right here? That tail, how it's got a lot of like white on it, and it's kind of rough around the edges. That's generally just ammonia burn, which is pretty much preventable. So that's a bummer, but I'm treating it. And we did have the one loss, but I think everyone else is going to pull through. These are going to be amazing fish. These are Geophagus veni. These are from Rio Paraná. I can't wait. Anyway, next tank. See how we're doing. These are the Chromaphiosimine polyaci, and so far so good. Let's see if we can get you to focus. No losses. Like really, I could not have asked for this killifish shipment to come in better shape. They were all good size, all fat, all looking excellent. So there are actually some males are starting to display and things like that. I mean, not right now because I threw the camera on them, so they all kind of froze, but yeah, they're doing really well. Next tank over is, these are the clown killies. They're doing fantastic. We've lost 2 is all, and in a shipment of, I don't know, 150 of them or so. You know, that's to be expected, unfortunately. But besides those 2, everyone else seems to be doing great. No signs of disease or anything that I've seen, so I'm really happy about these guys. And then same with these guys, doing fantastic. I did figure out which Rhinogobius these are, and then it's not coming to the tip of my tongue right now. But I'll get the actual species name for you guys in another video that I'll make of these. But oh, I love these little gobies. They're fantastic. I just love Rhinogobius. Just one of my favorite groups of fish ever. Okay, so that's how everybody's looking. Now we're gonna do the second dose of this stuff. I've got it all here ready to go. And we'll put it in this tank here. Here, let's see if we can get you set up so you're not wiggling around. This is the Aphyosemium chocolates, the Australi chocolates, and just pour that in there. Dose number 2 of the antibiotics. There she blows. All right. So now I'm going to go dose the other fish in that quarantine system. And that'll be day number 3. So day number 1, antibiotics, and then the next evening 50% water change and added external parasite medicine. You can use Achex. I use the Fritz Mardell version because it's cheaper and does just as well. So that went overnight, and then this morning 50% water change and round 2 of the antibiotics. Now, for those that are wondering, I don't re-add the salt. So I put the salt in the first day, 2 cups of coarse rock salt per 30 gallons, and that's my salt. Each salt's concentrated differently. You'll have to weigh it out. I think the correct weight is 5 grams per liter, something like that. Get online and check me. I'm just going off memory here, but I think that sounds about right. And so if you use a finer salt, you might need more or less or whatever, but for the salt I use, it's 2 cups per 30 gallons. I put that in on day 1, so Monday I put that in, let that dissolve hours before I ever put the fish in the tank, so they weren't sitting on undissolved salt. That's not any good. You want it all dissolved and dispersed before you put the fish in. And then I don't add any more salt. I don't want to yo-yo up and down and all around. So that's all I do, and it gradually gets changed out with the water changes until after a few days they're acclimated to the normal water without the salt. So it really does help for the first few days, but then they settled in, and I don't think I mean, it would be nice if they had it, but I don't think it helps to put it in after the big water change and yo-yo it up and down and all that. And I have an auto water changing system, so I'm not going to be stirring up buckets of water with salt in them and then adding that to the system. It's all automatic, so I don't re-add the salt. So for those that are wondering what happens with the salt, that's what happens. Anyway, I hope you're finding this informative. I'm sure this kind of video isn't for everyone, but I'm taking you through the process of how to successfully import fish. And there is an art and a science to it, and this is how I do it. Again, disclaimer, not a veterinarian, none of that. I'm just sharing with you what I do. Educate yourself, read what other people do, see what goes on other places, make your own decisions. Because I'm not qualified to diagnose or prognose or recommend treatments or any of that. But I want to share with you what I do because I don't think there's a lot of information out there about it. So that's how I land fresh imports. Tomorrow I'll show you day 4. Until then, have a good one. Bye-bye.